had a challenge being a Goan, being from South.
Yeah.
I was staying at a 5-star hotel at the South,
Yeah.
but I was still. I was talking to the guys in Konkani, and I was like, "Ba, like
Yeah.
it's me. I'm a Goan man.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah.
have to be so tough with me."
You take architecture, just one example, and you can really, boost it up, change it, improve it, and people will come. I think like how you have Fontainish and Panjim, such a beautiful. Now, of course, it's like flooded with tourists.
Again,
lot of
then you
complaints.
think about it, right? I mean, if you do it up and then you're complaining that Fontainebleau is
But see,
flooded.
here again, there has to be control.
You may say I'm crazy, but what I love about Dubai is the autocracy. I've spoken to you about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I've said more about the fact that the democratic process for me kind of doesn't work. I feel there's more development when there's autocracy.
Quality of roads. For the life of me, I can't understand for so many years, right? See Dubai, such fantastic roads, extreme weather conditions.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Goa, of course, has all its kinds of weathers, like, whatever, tropical and then your monsoon. And it goes to show that poor quality of tar is used compared to Dubai.
Oh God. So it's been another year.
Yeah, and a different setup. I think
And
it's a nice change.
Correct.
It's been a while we haven't done like a solo episode.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's good.
But can you believe how fast 2024 has gone
Yeah,
past
man.
by us?
Zoomed in like anything.
Yeah, I feel it was just
Zoomed on gelo.
Richa. No, I'm thinking it was just like yesterday we were doing
Yeah.
the finale for season 1 and we were talking about those Christmas sweets and
Yeah,
relishing everything, and then just at a click of a finger now we're talking about the end of 2024.
Yeah.
But
it's been a good year though.
Yeah, it's been a good year. We everything's been good all around. The season's been really nice.
Yeah.
Great guests we had.
Yeah.
For me, I would say I always keep on saying it, but it's so much of a learning. We talk to different Goans who are doing well in different niches or their different professions, and so inspiring, right? I mean, we had like great guests from authors this time. We had Michelle, an author. We had a tenor, Orlando, recently.
Yeah.
We had round the corner the DJ, Joel.
Joel, yeah.
So I mean, if not anything, it was been eye-opening for me as far as learning is concerned. So much to learn from them, and so much that we've taken.
In case y'all are viewing it on YouTube, y'all must be wondering where we are. We are in, if y'all not know, we filmed this in Dubai, so you can see the skyline over here, the city behind us. So beautiful view.
Getting back to it being an interesting season, I think it would be best to do a small recap and see the top 3 moments that we enjoyed having. The top 3 moments for the year. So I did a little bit of digging to see
Research.
Yeah. So the top 3 moments was the first one was us talking about the Susegad life culture.
With Michelle.
Yeah, that was.
Mrs. Bambawale. Yeah. So yeah.
It was interesting that, of course, I think that there was a lot of engagement from our viewers, and they spoke about how each one viewed.
And I think everyone has their own version of Susegad, I would say.
Yeah, I think a lot of the viewers were engaged in talking about the fact that Susegad meant different things to different people. Okay, what we were talking about
What do you have to say about? What's your take on that? I think we never discussed our view on it, right?
Yeah.
Susegad.
So I mean, I don't think it's Susegad anymore, to be honest.
Yeah, it's changing.
Yeah, I mean, it's life's become very fast.
Yeah.
We are always racing against time, and that's probably why we've defined Susegad differently.
But I think, don't you think, Neil, it's because of, let's put it this way, non-Goans who are maybe settled in Goa. For example, like I've heard in markets where there will be a shop owned by a Goan, right? And doing his business, he'll close 1 to 4 or something like that.
Yeah.
But you'll have another non-Goan,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe Gujarati or something,
Yeah.
where they'll be open throughout.
Yeah.
So the Goan is kind of forced to kind of...
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody was telling me that even in Lisbon, for example, in Portugal, the culture is still there, where people actually, take businesses close between 1 to 4, maybe not in the city, but around Portugal. it's still there wherein people break for lunch, as you may call it, and lunch includes maybe a
I
glass
know
of
Spain
wine
also does it.
and a beer and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
They'll take their time with their lunch and
Yeah,
have a
yeah,
drink as well, and
yeah.
like the. Yeah, I think they catch their siesta as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I mean, it's there. I think there's a lot of us who would love to take a break. I love my afternoon snooze, so I think I'm
Yeah.
still going that way.
Same here. Yeah, yeah. But I
If
think in Dubai we
it
can't
doesn't.
afford that
Yeah,
luxury of
yeah, yeah.
taking a nap.
I think when I'm in Goa, it happens.
Yeah, yeah.
My wife always complains saying that you're such a lazy bum.
I think yeah, because others are not used to that culture, right?
Yeah.
We've been so used to it.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, when I'm in Goa, maybe I don't know, it's the Goan in me, but post lunch, I always end up taking maybe like a 15, 20, if of course I can.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I'm at home, I'd rather, sneak into bed and take like a 20-minute power nap,
Yeah,
as you may
that's
call
yeah,
it.
yeah. I
And
think it
kind
gets
of-
you recharged. It's kind of good in a way.
Yeah.
It gets you recharged if you're like kind of working or you got stuff to do in the evening. So it
Yeah.
really gets you recharged.
Yeah.
And then to the second
Yeah.
moment.
So the second moment which resonated a lot with the Goans was Billy Toons talking about the neighbors and how
Billy
times
Joe.
have changed. Yeah. Talking about how in the good old days, the neighbors used to walk past your neighbors and say hi.
Yeah,
And he said he made
he
a
really
reference
struck a
as-
chord.
He struck
with
a chord with that.
with the
yeah,
audience.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's-
people really felt it.
Yeah, that's what I think everyone's still struggling with. That is that
Yeah, yeah.
that known face passing by and say, "Baba, chao piva yo."
Yeah,
that concept
Yes.
is not there anymore.
Correct.
And a lot of the viewers spoke about that, saying, "Yeah, that's gone. The good old days are gone." And now it's all about the high walls, and you don't know who your neighbor is, and you don't know what's
it's
happening.
sad to
and
say
stuff
that
like
it's changed, and of course, Goans are leaving for
Yeah.
greener pastures, and that's life, I guess. You cannot
Yeah.
change or erase that. But
I have a
good
thought on that though, but I'll get
Okay.
to that later on that.
Okay,
Okay. And then the most engaged moment we had
Yeah.
was,
till today, I think.
incidentally, Carrie always mentioned saying that he keeps on getting the likes for that reel even now.
Yeah.
Was the Asa Gurgaon.
Yeah, Asa Gurgaon. That
penned
is
our
like
own,
our top reel of the year, I would say.
Yeah.
And there again, I think people could relate to it. North Goa is not the same.
Yeah.
We call it a mini Delhi.
Yeah.
And Porvorim also has become like a Bombay in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that bustle and now it's crazy with traffic and stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, she's not wrong there. I think a lot of people kind of could connect with it.
Yeah, I mean that's what at least a lot of the Goan diaspora, the Goan community, let's call it,
the locals. Yeah.
locals are struggling with right now.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean this is what is the challenge for them right now, is that they're seeing all these things happening all in front of them, and this kind of, I think the biggest challenge is they've lost, or they feel like they've lost control. They've not been able to, control. Growth will always be there, but I don't think they're able to control that, and that's where it's getting a little bit frustrating. Daily lives are getting hit.
Yeah.
People are feeling the pinch out when they go out to the market, when they go shopping, or when they go out with their family, their kids, and it's frustrating. I mean, I can empathize with that.
No, and I think it's that change where now you're going to the shops and all you hear is Hindi as opposed to Konkani, and you feel. I think it's changing there as well. Like, I mean, you can't help it, right? You need workers. You need a lot of the Goans, I think, have left, or they don't want to do these kind of jobs. Wherein, so you're forced to hire labor, right, from other states, and they come in, and then the whole demographic, I would say, or the culture changes all around you. But why do you think, I think we discussed this, but why do you think these like Delhiites or other Indians are coming to Goa and not other states? We have so many other states, right? Like Karnataka, and okay, Bangalore has gotten its fair share, but Kerala or I don't know, Mangalore or some other places.
I don't know. I don't know the real reason. I mean, I've not dug deep into it. But what I feel was that I think COVID, when COVID hit Goa, I think Goa was one of the most, I will say, safest, because they had the lowest number of
COVID cases.
COVID cases.
And I think it was open to people who
No,
wanted
they
to come.
closed.
No? They didn't close the borders.
They closed for some time,
Okay.
but the numbers were very low. I don't know if you remember, there was a time where everyone was saying, "Oh, the numbers in Goa are really low," and stuff like that. So then I think that was the reason why a lot of people thought, okay, Goa is kind of let's move there. And who doesn't want a life wherein you're getting so Delhi is getting away from the smog, as they call it right now.
Yeah, as of now, it's quite
Air
bad. Yeah.
pollution and noise pollution and all this kind of stuff. So
No,
everybody
but
wants
I get that. But I'm saying, why not other state?
So that's what I'm
why
saying.
pick
Goa,
Goa?
that's
Yeah.
why I felt Goa was kind of it was perceived to be safe from a health perspective, and B, perhaps it was clearer air. By the beach, very kind of laid back. So I think life, if you put it in a nutshell, I think everybody, if life is so fast paced right now, that all of us want to go back to the slower version of life. And maybe the Susegad tag to Goa is what resonated most with the rest of
I
the
think,
Indians.
I would say also people were coming to Goa because it was different compared to other states, right?
course,
I
yeah.
mean, culture-wise,
Yeah, there's a lot of
we are
culture there.
little. I'd like to say that Goans have that European state of mind. We call it that.
Yeah, could be.
And also Goans are very welcoming, hospitable in that sense.
True.
And the problem is, I guess, Goans opened their door, and they didn't know that would be like so much people coming in.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah,
you can't control it.
We can't. Yeah. Again, it's sad, but it's true. That was the sad part is that the average Goan is welcoming. They'll say, okay, come in. I've had friends, for example, who've called me up and said, hey, we want to move to Goa. And I'm like, yeah, please, because it's inbuilt, right? You're proud of your state, you're proud of your place.
Even I've had
to share
people
it.
asking,
You want to share everything that's good about Goa. And why not? I mean, at the end of the day, we all human beings.
But a friend said this. He said that if you remove us, I mean, all the Goans are leaving, bit by bit, I would say. So he said that we are the flavor of the state in a way, and if that flavor is gone, Goa will not be the same. It'll become like any other random state. And coming to, I mean, this brings us to our discussion. What we also wanted to discuss about is the latest buzz which is going around on the internet.
Yeah.
A lot of people are discussing. It's on the news. It's about this statistics which came up, a graph sheet by the Chinese Economic Center, which an influencer put up, saying that foreign tourism, and I think foreign tourism they mean by like non-Indians, has dropped in Goa. I feel the numbers are a bit strange to me. I don't think they're accurate. I think there's a little masala added in there, if I might say so. But you can see though there is a big drop in foreigners from what I know we don't go much, but visit Goa much.
So I'll bring my hotelier brain a little bit into this. Okay, so for example, you say foreign tourists coming to Goa. Okay, so this is the same thing that happens in Dubai, by the way. Okay, so the great thing about Dubai is that you have a government authority, DTCM, which guides you and tells you which are the markets which are not coming in.
Yeah.
So I think Goa has significantly been British and Russian, right? Tourists.
I mean, I'd say Russian of late, a little bit of Iranians and maybe the CIS countries.
Yeah, but I mean, historically, let's put it that way.
Historically.
I remember
Were there Russians coming back then?
Yeah, oh my God.
Really?
My
Okay.
days in Goa when I was a hotelier, when I was working in a hotel, it was charter flights from UK and it was from Russia.
Okay.
I still remember, I mean, when I first started off my career, it was predominantly UK. And then towards, I mean, like 2004, 5, 6.
What about the French, Germans, and all
So,
that?
I mean, they were there.
But they
was
were
not,
small.
But the charters were coming predominantly from UK
okay,
and,
okay.
and Russia.
Russia, okay.
Now, like Dubai, you have to factor in that there's certain geopolitical reasons where, like, for example, the Russia-Ukraine war has not brought that many. The Russians will not fly, right? They're worried about, conflict and what's going to happen in my own country and stuff like that. The same way for the British, I think, again, it's sad to say it, but like even for the West, the Americans and the British, they've always associated Middle East and India to be kind of really close. So, maybe the British are not traveling to India because of the conflict that's happening in the Middle Eastern region or potential conflict. So, to be the devil's advocate, the term that I hate, you hate.
I know, you famous for that.
I think I should make a business card which says Neil Fernandez, the devil's advocate.
Or maybe act in the film with Al Pacino.
Yeah, because right now I can, if my wife's listening to it and my daughter's listening to it, they'll be like, yeah, this is exactly you. You're so irritating when you're the devil's advocate.
But I guess you have to look at the other side, right?
Yeah,
you have to know. So what is your...
So to be the devil's advocate on this, I would say that, yes, they've been drop in number of foreign tourists, but that's not all of because Goa. There's obviously some things which are impacting the number of tourists coming to Goa from a...
Correct. Yeah. I mean, you can't pinpoint on one thing alone, one factor alone.
But again, Goa is not in the right direction as far as, a lot of things that are challenging tourism, as far as... you and I discussed about it, and the taxis. The taxi.
Coming to taxis,
We've shared. I mean, I told you the last time I was in Goa.
Yeah.
I had a challenge being a Goan, being from South.
Yeah.
I was staying at a 5-star hotel at the South, but I was still. I was talking to the guys in Konkani and I was like, Baba, it's me. I'm a Goan man. You don't have to be so tough with me. I can understand to some extent you want to, but consider me your own person and help me in this situation. But they've reached a stage where they're so tough on their thought processes that it's impacting negatively on tourism, and people are talking about it. It's like wildfire. One bad experience, and then and today with social media, it's so difficult to control these kind of things. You don't want that negative publicity.
And the people have spoken. I mean, you can see the comments. Everyone is talking about the taxi mafia, quote unquote. Taxi mafia. So it's sad. I don't know who. I mean, this has been going on for many years now, as you know, and people are suggesting, why don't you all have Uber or Ola services in Goa? It's high time. It really needs. But I really can't comment now on this. What can... I mean, it's all left to the authorities and government to do something. I think enough is enough. It's been quite a while now.
Again... it's so short-minded, even from these taxis. So again, they are thinking that tourism is supposed to support them. These taxi drivers, they're thinking that tourism is, and it's true, right? I mean, when, for example, I remember when the Park Hyatt was being built up, the local panchayat was very much involved, where they said, this hotel has to bring in jobs for the Goan people. And more importantly, for the local community.
Correct.
It's very important. And there was a mandate.
But is it the case that they don't want to, maybe say Uber or Ola hires these guys or whatever. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, that's what they should do. See,
but are they ready to take up such kind of jobs, I'm saying? Because you need to be a little tech savvy, right, on your mobile.
That's the thing. That's the challenge. I think the biggest challenge with Goa right now is that a lot of the local communities are reluctant to get onto this tech savvy formats. They're reluctant to get into it because it's more of, they see the evils of it. Again, you can't blame them, right? I mean, you and I talk about the evils of social media on a regular basis, how things are so difficult and different.
Correct.
So this is, I think, where the taxi drivers are struggling with. But again, they have to understand with time comes change.
Yes.
You can't run...
Maybe if they followed something like, that concept in London with the black cabs, they still have the old original black cabs, and you have your Ubers, Olas. If you want the black cab, it's a bit expensive, but of course, it's a different car. It's like a landmark kind of thing, very classic kind of cab, and people want that feel. But it's a bit expensive compared to your Uber, Ola, and whatever mini cabs you have there. So maybe something of that format. Maybe you keep the, how should I put it, the old generation of taxi drivers in that sort of kind of segment.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think again they're not regulating it. Like,
Yeah.
if you go in Bombay,
They don't have meter
they don't have
taxis.
meter-
Yeah.
and that's where the challenge is. Because you and I, for example, if suppose you and I went to Thailand or Bali,
Yeah.
which we should plan, by the way.
We have to get visa, but from your from Mrs. Fernandez.
Oh wait, you're getting the vibes also. No, hold on. No, but
Yeah.
if you and I went to a foreign country, okay, and then there were two options: one which was the metered taxi, and one which was the guy telling you want to go from point A to point B is 5,000 rupees, for example. You would not trust that, right?
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
human nature.
Yeah,
We will not trust the guy who's telling you directly pay me X amount of money,
Yes.
because it's human nature for us to think you're getting cheated. And that's where the challenge is again. A lot of the tourists who are coming are not ready to believe that the prices being quoted, which is just at the tip of your tongue. Okay, you want to go from Margao to Panjim, it's 5,000 rupees. They feel that that's cheated, that there's no meter that's running. They want a meter in
I mean, it has to be stopped, right? I don't know how. I mean, look at Dubai. We always compare Dubai,
Yeah.
right? So fantastic. These guys are not mucking around when it comes to
Yeah.
cabs and all.
Yeah.
Perfect. Excellent service.
And again, I'll use a reference we use in hotels called revenue management, and which is there in Dubai, by the way, for Dubai taxis. So, for example, if you are hailing a taxi at peak moments, you're paying an extra premium amount. So, for
Yeah.
example, you'll probably have to book the taxi where you're paying a surcharge, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
This model can easily be used in Goa. So, for example, during the winters, you have a peak charge on your phone, on your taxi per kilometer. So, if you want to charge, for example, 10 rupees a kilometer, and then in the off season, when you have the Indian tourists who are a little bit more economical, you maybe charge them 7 or 6 dirhams.
Oh, you can bring it down.
You
and
can
then-
bring it
yeah,
down.
yeah.
And then, for example, on New Year's Eve, you can even charge 20
Yeah,
rupees a
yeah,
kilometer,
correct.
But that again, that requires you to start thinking from a revenue management point of view. If
Exactly.
you start thinking, okay, I want to make more money at peak times, I can make more money than me taking a salary of 5,000 rupees per month back home. So there is ways. It's just that I think we as Goans are struggling to move forward to take, to try something different as far as
Yeah, I hope they change their mind and authority comes up with something. But I mean, here this is one of the factors, and then like I was just thinking about people comparing. Of course, they're comparing now Goa to Thailand, Bali, whatever, which is right in a way, very similar in nature when it comes to beaches, etc. But I want to start with like say we have that Portuguese heritage culture in Goa. And I was comparing Goa to, like, say, Macau or Cuba, for example, Panama, for example, where people want to see that the old culture.
Yeah.
And we have such lovely, pockets,
Yeah.
I would say, in Goa, right? Like, for example, let's pick Margao. Margao has the Margao Municipal
Yeah.
Building,
Yeah.
which is like a very old structure, but oh my God, it's in very bad shape, as you know.
Yeah.
It's a pity if they had to do it up a bit. And then you have the administrative building of Salset Comunad,
Kaminad. Okay.
that, where the bus stop is.
Yeah.
Such a nice, I've always looked at that building. I'm like,
Yeah.
if they had to do it up nicely, maybe, I don't know, convert it into something else. Maybe put some cafes inside or something. I don't know. Play with it. Like such a nice old structure in the heart of the city, heart of Margao. Do it up. So I think little things here and there. Say you take architecture, just one example, and you can really, boost it up, change it, improve it, and people will come. I think like how you have Fontainish in Panjim. Such a beautiful. Now, of course, it's like flooded with tourists.
Again,
Lot of
then you think
complaints.
about it, right? I mean, if you do it up and then you're complaining that Fontenache is
But see, here
flooded.
again, there has to be control.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
There has to be control. I mean, you can't stop. People are going to come wherever, but if it's not controlled,
Yeah.
then you're going to be bombarded with tourists and these Instagrammers, whatever, clicking photos.
You remember us talking about, I remember you telling me about this beach in, I think, Bali, which they closed it down and they reset it, as you may call it, because there were too many tourists going over there. Was that?
Yeah, no, I was talking about like how we can kind of save our beaches in a way.
Okay.
And Kalangut, as you know, Baga is infested and it's in bad shape. I think it's become like a chowpatty beach of Bombay. So I believe in. Remember looking at the news and Thailand, Maya Bay in Thailand, which was called Koh Phi Phi Le.
Okay.
And if you remember that movie, The Beach, with
Leonardo.
Leonardo DiCaprio, it was shot there. So
Okay.
ever since that movie got released, it got flooded with tourists.
Okay.
And would you believe it? They closed it down for nearly 3.5 years. They closed that beach for nearly 3.5 years to public access.
Okay. For what? To kind of clean it up.
To clean it up, get it kind of, how should I put it, like rebooted and, to protect the ecosystem and, how should I say, to protect the natural environment. Recovery, let's put it, beach recovery.
Yeah.
I think Kalangut needs that. They need to close it at least for a year or something, fix it up. And
But the challenge is how to regulate it. For example, how do you control the number of persons going onto the beach or the type of people that's going on that beach?
I mean, here again, the example like Dubai, right? I mean, we have a lot of people from all around the world. And when I say all around the world, you have people from Asia, the conservatives, let's put it that way. So now when you have beautiful beaches in Dubai, a lot of women come there, scantily clad, or okay, maybe that's a harsh word, but they're in their bikinis and whatever, they're enjoying themselves. Now when you have these conservative guys, people in lower paid jobs, laborers, who come and they want to, get a quick look, peep at the women. I mean, if it's open, then all these guys are going to come there. But thanks to the Dubai police, it's controlled and they stop these guys from going there. I think the same way, I think Goa has to do this. I mean, you remember once when we were young, when we used to go to the beaches, there were women freely roaming. And now I don't think it's the same. It's dangerous, in fact. I think you can't even... I remember this was like 10 years ago or 12 years ago. I remember my cousin saying that I remember some friends wanted to go to the beach at night and who were visiting, to go on holiday. And he was like, no, I wouldn't go because it's dangerous in the night. Yeah. So, I mean, it's sad, really. I mean, what? Okay, one side is the cleanliness.
Yeah.
That's there. You need to be clean. You need to control the kind of crowd going in.
Yeah.
And then the safety,
I mean, I don't know. I think we oversold Goa as being a beach destination. You know what? And I think...
No, I mean, you can't ignore it, right, Neil?
Yeah,
it's
but,
part of
but
Goa.
I just feel that...
If you had to say, like, now I see a lot of advertisements about temples, this and that. They're trying to do something different, which I get it. But if you had to pick between whatever the... how should I put it? The architectural sites and things like, say, maybe churches, temples, holy sites, and beaches, nightlife, where would you think the tourists would go for? I mean, which would be the option? Option 1, beaches, nightlife, or option 2, sites, historical sites and religious sites? Like
beaches, obviously. I mean, that's what the marketing has always been about Goa, right? Goa has been that beach destination. That's what I'm saying.
So the percentage would be more.
Yeah,
in terms of.
again, without any kind of hard facts or numbers to back this up.
But okay, like
But
back then when you were working,
yeah, it's that I mentioned this in the previous episode. I mean, like when I used to talk to a foreigner and talk about, hey, what can I do in Goa? I'm telling you, at a click of a finger, it was old Goa. It was maybe the temples, north temples. I tell them
the
south of
Spice
spice.
Trail and all
Yeah,
that
exactly.
stuff.
You go to Anjuna, but it was never. It was. I mean, if somebody specifically said, "I want to go and party," then I would say, okay, why don't you go up north? And that's where all the party places are. Maybe post out on the belt that from Kalangut, Anjuna, all the way up north is stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for me, Goa was about the culture. I used to, at least for me, I can vouch for myself, but I know the people also around me, including Geeta and stuff. We used to talk about, okay, these are the things you can do: the churches, the temples, and stuff like that. And maybe South Goa, you go to this I remember in Shandor, there's this old house. I can't get the name right now. There's
In Chanda, yeah, Braganza Pereira House.
Braganza Pereira, yeah. So we were talking about the Goan culture. We were not talking about party life. But unfortunately, maybe you can blame it on media, you can blame it on
But I'm
movies.
saying like Dubai, I think Dubai has their focus on everything, right? Be it the beaches, be it the restaurants, museums, everything. They got their hands on everything.
Because they're marketing it.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm saying you can't avoid the beaches. It's going to be there. Fix it. And okay, do your other things. That's fine. But I think one cannot deny, you can't ignore that the beaches are also part of Goa.
So that's
which
that's
is-
what that's what
yeah.
I'm getting into. That's what I'm saying. So historic, maybe over the last 10, 15 years, Goa has been associated with the beaches. So obviously, everybody who's coming to Goa is going onto the beach, and then you have a case of too many people on these these beaches, as you may call it, and obviously with that comes the cleanliness and safety and
Yeah.
everything. But I think what we need to do in Goa is that, and maybe they're doing it. Again, we we spoke about it. I think the last Arabian travel market,
Right.
we were talking about the Goa stand.
Yes,
and
yes,
I was
at the
telling
Arabian
you,
travel market,
and I was
yeah.
telling you that it was a different marketing strategy that Goa
Yes.
had, which perhaps they're in the right direction, where they were talking more about the culture. They were
Yeah.
trying to, and they had I can't again. Age is catching up with me, but they have this new tag, which is I think more focused on the cultural aspect of Goa than the tourist. I mean, let's say the beach aspect of Goa.
Yeah, I could see also they went to Tashkent recently.
Yeah.
In the travel market there.
Yeah. So they're going. I mean,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
I read also about new charters, flights starting from different CIS destinations as well.
Okay.
So, I mean, Goa's doing it. It's just that, we need to focus very strongly on what we are marketing as far as Goa is concerned. And then the local people have to be more.
But I think the key thing is, Neil, is that what I'm trying to say is that, okay, your marketing, that's a good job, what you all are doing and all. But end of the day, it's like inviting a guest. And if your house is not clean,
Yeah, that's true.
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's the problem here, from your roads to your beaches to your wherever you go, the taxis like we spoke about.
Yeah.
And now coming back to that women safety, the safety for women, right?
True.
We were talking about women's safety, like going out in the night. Have you ever thought about, whenever you like went to a cafe or restaurant in Goa, have you ever seen waitresses?
No.
I mean, I don't recall.
Not
It's
in-
a very,
Not in freestanding restaurants, at least.
yeah. I mean, you would see in five-star hotels,
Hotels,
right?
yeah,
You
yeah,
would,
hotels. I've
you would
seen,
find,
yeah,
but
we've had.
you would never, like, unlike Dubai, right? Dubai,
Yeah.
everywhere they're there. Like, you would find Filipinos to Indians to whatever
Yeah.
in every cafe. But Goa, okay, we're not talking about full of India, but Goa, just we're focusing on Goa here. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I'm saying this
So,
because,
we have a good reference of Dubai.
yeah.
Okay. Abu Dhabi won the safest city in the world recently, apparently on some. And Dubai, you'll have a lot of social media will tell you it's so safe. And even the women will come out and say, we don't mind going out at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. So Dubai is really safe. As a parent,
Yeah.
I know I'm more comfortable my daughter going out at 11 in the night in Dubai than even at say 4 o'clock in the evening in Goa. Even
Correct.
in broad daylight, I'd be more worried about her going out in Goa.
Yeah.
The difference is the policing, I'd say.
Yes.
You and I, and pardon my French, we're shit scared of breaking the law here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if we do something wrong, there's a heavy price to pay.
The very sight of a police car frightens me.
I should not actually, to be honest with you.
But I'm
You
saying,
should-
see the impact they've
exactly,
made.
exactly.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I mean, Goa. I think that's where we are. That's where we're struggling. So when I see, again, you and I are guilty of it as well, Carrie.
Yeah.
Because when you and I see a cop, and if you're breaking the rules, we'll pull out our wallet.
It never happened to me, to be honest, but
Okay, let's put it this
show
way.
my wallet. Yeah, here's my wallet. Yeah,
No, at least the average Goan will consider it, right? Okay, that's one thing, and then secondly, it should not be. It should be linked to your. Again, it for I'll give you a simple example.
But you segued into the traffic side, but I'm talking about I remember this conversation. We're talking about women, right? I remember this conversation with a friend who had a restaurant. This was I think 5-6 years ago. And I said, I just thought, in fact, that time it's where I pondered over it, Why don't I see waitresses? Why aren't there any women working? And then I asked this question to him. I said, why don't you have female, waiters, waitresses? And he's like, no, Carrie, we cannot, keep, because then these guys will come and harass them.
Yeah.
And they might think your restaurant is like a shady bar.
Yeah, that's true.
This is what they would
Yeah.
perceive. And I was like, oh my God, that's disgusting, man. I mean, this is what the society's come to. I mean, has to change. I mean,
Yeah.
it's sad, but it's happening. But they're saying it's slowly changing in the urban areas, maybe the urban cities. But I guess it's only the hotels or high-end restaurants where you would find waitresses. I would think.
Maybe it's also to do with the fact that maybe it's not a career. A lot of girls are.
There's also
are
the
looking-
career, but but hey, if someone wants to work, they want to earn money. I mean, you have a lot of these. How should I put it? Not so financially sound, good families, and they need to work. So I think they're ready to take up any job, right? So I don't know.
I'm just
This
thinking about it. I'm going really dig. I'll try and put it as quick as possible. Because again, if you dig deep, perhaps it's about education. If it's at grassroots levels, if we educate, if we go for like a 10% education, and then we start investing in educating, or not about education, but
I'm not saying
skill. Creating a skill force.
Right.
So, for example, you say, okay, women get into hospitality schools, at subsidies or whatever. You may encourage the kids.
Yeah.
You may encourage the girls to be more, to get into hospitality and then get into these kind of jobs where they have careers and stuff like that. Again, it's just you just mentioned it. It's just coming at the top of my head.
No, it's a good idea to have something like that for the.
But I think more importantly, if there was strong policing in Goa,
Yeah.
where you were shit scared of the cops,
Yeah,
okay, and they
correct.
were placing heavy fines, for you kind of, even what do you call it?
Or maybe they take you, I don't know, to jail or something. If
something
you
like that.
act funny or something
exactly.
like that. It
And
gets
then
bit
you
extreme.
understand. You understand that. Listen, women's safety is not something you can
Play around
F
with.
around with.
Mommy, you said F word.
So that could be one of the ways we can perhaps get more women into the industry.
And I think also, I think we're speaking about all, there's whole, I think I got a big list of factors which could, I think these factors are leading to issues with tourism, I feel. And then the other one is the roads, right? One is the quality of roads, let's put it that way. Then you have, because for the life of me, I can't understand for so many years, right? See Dubai, such fantastic roads, extreme weather conditions.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Goa, of course, has all its kinds of weathers, like, whatever, tropical and then your monsoon. And it goes to show that poor quality of tar is used compared to Dubai. I mean, yeah.
Um, okay. I don't know about that, whether it's quality or no. Could be corruption, could be a lot of other
Yeah,
things
I
as
mean,
well.
there is definitely
Which
corruption.
which brings me to something what we've discussed about the next season, season 3,
Okay.
was what we want. Remember, we want to have in people, and we start talking about what we as at the grassroots levels can change as far as Goa is concerned. What if I rule Goa for some time or for a day?
Yeah, yeah.
So keeping this in mind, in line with what you're talking about, okay? Here's what I think. A lot of you may debate me on this. You may tell me, you may say I'm crazy, but this is where I come from, at least my thought process right now. What I love about Dubai is the autocracy. I've spoken to you about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I've said more about the fact that the democratic process for me kind of doesn't work. I feel a lot more. I feel there's more development when there's autocracy. Dubai is not. They don't have to worry about a government that changes every 5 years or every 8 years or 10 years. Okay, the government's stable, so you know that things are only going in the positive direction, and you have leadership over here that starts their day by thinking about how can we make the people's lives better.
Yes, yeah.
Okay?
It's the citizens that matter.
Exactly.
And, yeah,
So when
the
you have a
people,
leader,
residents.
which I'm very happy
Yeah.
to in this autocratic government that we have in Dubai. I mean, it's not autocratic. I mean, it's democratic. They have ministers and stuff like that. But everybody from the top starts by thinking. They starts their day with the thought process is, how can I make my people's lives better? Okay, and then they don't have to worry about the next 5 years. They have to worry about the next 50, 100 years.
Yeah. Correct,
And
yeah.
that's probably where they start thinking, you know what? I have to build a road for the next 100 years.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make sure I do it well. And that's probably why today you have infrastructure in Dubai that is worlds apart compared to India, or let's say Goa for them.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
not.
for them, yeah.
Let's. India is of course getting there right now. I can see a huge development happening,
Especially in major cities like Mumbai.
yeah, I mean
and-
the highway you have in from Margao to Panjim is brilliant. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I want to take out the car and drive all the way to Panjim just so that I
least
can
something they did.
exactly. So we're that's brilliant. Though the infrastructure that's happening right now is good. The Mandovi is such a pleasant bridge to cross these days. I
But
remember,
but now it's also getting chaotic, at that end with the casinos and people are tired of the traffic within that area, right? Where the casino is, there's no proper parking, and but I think one more thing I've realized is Goa has to watch out. I mean, in a way, it's good news for me. For us, I would say, is if casinos are going to come here, right, in the UAE, in especially in Ras Al Khaimah. This could kind of change things, right, in terms of people may not even. I'm not saying a whole lot. There could be a drop, and people would not go to Goa for the casinos. They would probably fly down to UAE or.
you mean to say the Indian will come to UAE to
Yeah.
play? Yeah, it could happen. Yeah, it could happen. Yeah, yeah.
They all know Dubai. They
Yeah.
love Dubai.
Yeah.
Chal Dubai jayega.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
they'll say. And
Yeah.
I think even there's been talks about, like, say, hotel rates, right?
Yeah.
About the difference, at least what I've seen on the news, wherein a hotel rate is cheaper in Thailand.
Yeah, yeah. My
Vietnam.
brother-in-law sent me that
Okay.
the Radisson in the Radisson hotel in Vietnam, if I'm not mistaken, versus the Radisson in Goa.
Okay.
And it was like, I think 200% difference in prices over Christmas or New Year.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
I did a little bit of digging after
Right.
that, and I was a little bit what you call it. I took it with a pinch of salt, as you may call it, and I decided to check non-Christmas New Year dates, and it's actually true, Carrie. So for example, I was looking, I think from the 3rd to the 10th or something like that of January. I just looked for
Yeah.
availability. And I saw Goa was, I think, for 12 nights, if I'm not mistaken, it was around almost 45, 50,000. Okay. Okay. Again, to put things in context, I'm looking at a 5-star hotel
Yeah.
for like 12 nights, 2 weeks approximately. It was around 45,000 for apple to apple conversion. I mean, check on a hotel in the Far East was roughly around like 13, 14,000 dirhams. Sorry, for 16,000 dirhams. So can you imagine? It's not 100%, it's at least 150, 200% increase. So then I dug deep a little bit more and I said, let me check the flights. And it was the same case with the flights. It was cheaper for me to fly from Dubai to Vietnam, if I'm not mistaken, than to fly from Dubai to Goa over that same period, 3rd to the
Oh.
13th.
Wow. There it goes to
So,
show. I mean, don't you think it's like, hey, I'm ready to pay that big amount, whatever
Yeah.
it is, but what am I getting? Right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's probably what people are talking right now is that, and I think it came up in your
Yeah.
report and all, is that they said, oh, people are ditching Goa and they're going to Vietnam and they're going to Thailand and their stuff and they're going to stuff like that. But it's true, and I, as a hotelier in Dubai, I know that the local governance over here always highlights this whenever they have meetings. I've told you about it, where they've told us, so like the Dubai government will do studies on, like, say, a passenger from Russia is looking, say, 6 months out to travel, whether what is the price for a 3-night stay in Dubai versus a 3-night stay in, say, Thailand. And then DDCM will come and tell us, saying, guys, your rates are really high. So you all guys need to relook at your pricing, which is good intel. So what the government is doing is that they're telling us, listen, guys, the tourist man who's sitting in Russia and Moscow, if he's planning to go 6 months down or 3 months down the line for a holiday,
Right.
today he's going to see a much cheaper price in Thailand than he will see in Dubai.
Correct.
So, and then you revisit your pricing strategies and stuff like that. So that's another thing, what Goa is struggling with. I think there's a conception that the prices are just too high. First you're paying exorbitant for a fare ticket, then you're paying very high for a
The hotel.
and then finally on the streets, you're to take a bloody taxi also, you're getting screwed left, right,
Yeah,
center.
yeah.
So why even bother going to Goa? I might as well go to Thailand, or
Correct.
Bali or wherever, or
I mean,
Vietnam.
I've been to Thailand like twice, and they're so hospitable, lovely service, taxis, and everything around you is fantastic. I mean, you'd want to go again and again. That's what I think they should. Goa has to learn from these places, and like I said, all these factors play a part. Like
Yeah.
be it the roads, taxis, and cleanliness. That's very important. I mean, garbage everywhere. Beaches are bad, and then I was also thinking the kind of tourists you're getting. I see. There's always, like I say, good apples and bad apples. There's always the
Yeah.
good tourists and the bad tourists. So, what is Goa looking towards to? You want like good tourists, as always. I mean, you want refined people because you don't want, like, you hear about these tourists coming in their tempo tracks or whatever jeeps. They're like family or bunch of bachelors, and they'll cook on the fields or something and
Whoa.
trash the place. Yeah,
Really?
I've seen it with my own eyes. They actually stop on the road and they'll cook on the side something on the field, wherever, like
Maggi
a
noodles.
barren spot. Like not even a picnic, not like a nice fancy basket with fromage or something, but like with the what do you call that? A kerosene burner and all that stuff. I'm like, oh my god.
Really?
So, and these guys are not going to spend, right? End
Yeah.
of the day. So you need good tourists. So, and there are decent tourists in India. I mean, a lot of people have been coming over the years. So I was thinking, like, in terms of events. Now you see events like these electronic, EDM kind of festivals, and like Sunburn is the famous one, right? And people are not too happy about it. Locals are not happy. They blame it on drugs, and then there's the noise pollution. And I'd say yes, there is the noise pollution and there is chaos whenever it happens. I say, okay, you have a good festival. I love a good music festival, but I think there should be some control, right? I mean, Dubai has a lot of festivals, as you know, and Thailand, all many places, but you need to have control. Can it, handle that kind of crowd? The infrastructure is very poor in Goa, right? So, and then the kind of crowd, okay, you'll have a bit of good and bad. So I was thinking, and I think I pitched it to you, and I was like, why doesn't Goa have some good acts? Like, say, maybe they're old timers, but you would get in the good tourists. Like, okay, the good thing now recently, which I came across, is that Brian Adams is coming to Goa. So something like that. Maybe you get like a Eagles or Michael Bublé or someone from the classical. Yeah, that'd be
That's a dream.
something, right?
Michael Bublé, if you heard by any chance, please come to Goa. So
Yeah,
again,
really.
yeah, I agree with you 100%. The Goan mind is kind of switched on to think that Brian Adams good, Sunburn Festival bad, and because the association with Sunburn or whatever the festivals are.
I mean, see, here again, we're taking out old names, maybe you could say. But there are young, okay, say, okay, she's also fairly like Nora Jones, for example. Something like that. You have classy acts.
Yeah.
In turn, you'll get good crowd.
Yeah.
And you'll get people who will spend, they know how to respect your culture. That is the main thing I look for. The key word, I think, is cultural compatibility. I think the kind of crowd we want, the tourists that we want, who will embrace our culture, understand, and even when they're open to food and everything, you don't want to hear messages like, "Oh, does this place serve veg?" It's very okay. You have your veg, I don't mind, but you can't keep on asking. Like you have all these tourists asking, "Oh, does this restaurant have serve veg?" You get veg over here. Like you wouldn't find them asking these questions in maybe visiting Spain or Italy or something like that. It's you find out for yourself. You I mean, there would be some few dishes, but okay,
but
I
you
can see
still-
the devil's advocate
Yeah,
face
no,
now.
you would still find them asking the questions. There's a certain sect.
But
of
I don't know,
Indian-
Goa, it's like much more.
So
It's
I'll
much
tell you,
more.
I'll tell you, there's a certain sect of, I will say, groups of Indians when they travel specifically to state-wise, they are insistent on their food being available for that trip. I know about this. So, for
Right.
example, just to give you an example, not that it's happening, but if Goans went to Spain,
Yeah.
then that group would ask for Goan food during the Spain trip.
Yeah. Yeah, choris kitne? Aapki baat सुन रहे?
That's I'm saying
Yeah.
it's
like,
there.
yeah, you would have these SOTC and all these travel groups, and
They
they,
do
would
that,
have
they do
serve
that.
Indian
Yeah,
food only to the Indian group.
So they want their palate to be met. You can't help it. They're not open-minded to trying something new, which is fine. I mean, to each their own. There are a lot of religious parts of it, like Jains, for example,
Yeah,
cannot
yeah, they
have
wouldn't.
the
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
and all.
correct, correct.
But it's there. I mean, not to say. I mean, not to whatever you're saying. It's absolutely correct. But there is also that part of the group of people who travel internationally who want their type of food.
Yeah.
See, it's easier for the Europeans coming to Goa because we kind of prepare European breakfasts and stuff like that.
No, but
it's-
do you think like, okay, say you're a restaurant owner, should you change according to, like, okay, you were once serving whatever the Goan dishes, your favorites, and then because I want business, I'll change it, or you stick to the same.
But then again, the devil's advocate. If he's not selling, how is he sustaining?
Right. Yeah.
You know, like how Joel said about DJ Joel was telling us about. A lot of places, if they don't play Bollywood music, they're not getting the crowds coming. So again, that's how you sustain. You have to put food on the table, money in your pocket.
I think, yeah, even I've noticed, like, say, example, in hotels in Goa, right? I think you might have noticed when you stayed for breakfast.
Yeah.
Now you get like Indian,
Yeah.
South Indian stuff.
Yeah.
But back in the day, it would be like
Predominantly
English.
continental,
Yeah,
catered-
continental, yeah.
The thing is, we catered to their requests
Correct.
from day one. So we never.
You know
got-
what kind of guests you get in.
Yeah. So we were thinking. See, because again, it's about. It goes down. It's a loophole. I mean, not a loophole, but it's a what's it called, that rabbit hole as far as. But for Indians have always been predominantly welcoming. And as an Indian, if a European comes to our house, we'll be more worried about what they will eat and what we will eat.
Right.
Whereas it's not the other way around. If we go to Europe, they won't worry about what we eat. They will tell us eat what we are eating.
Yeah, yeah. I
know
think
what I mean?
I think I prefer that. I guess. I mean, it's like you come to a country, you know, just give our culture a
Exactly.
try.
Yeah.
Be open.
Be open.
Be
Yeah.
open-minded.
But
So,
we dug our grave when we started worrying about them at the
yes,
very
yes.
beginning,
Because
and that
yeah.
inherently comes from us, right? As even as Goans for that matter. I still remember my mom used to tell me, or when mom used to cooking food at home, we would be worried about the guests and their, oh, this person
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
have
yeah,
pork, this
correct.
person doesn't have. It's still there. My sister's house, for example, my wife doesn't have pork, she doesn't have beef. So when she's getting her food ready, she will probably, I remember, I don't remember. I mean, she'll tell my wife, listen, this is for you, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
But inherently, we want to take care
Yes,
of you.
yes,
We want to
correct,
take
correct.
care. We want to meet your food habits, and that's where things go wrong. So then, when Indians go abroad, or Goans go abroad. We are not okay. As Indians go abroad, there's that thing about, okay, you know what? We are not getting our because they're like, okay, you come to our place, eat our food.
Correct, correct. Now
Yeah.
it takes me back to this episode I saw, Chef's Table on Netflix, where they did a small bit on this Thai restaurant by this couple, and the wife, I mean the owner, the chef, she said that we had a customer who came into the restaurant and ate, and she's like, "Oh, I don't eat this food. I don't like the food," and she just got out and she said that this is not the kind of customers we want.
Yeah.
uh, what she was trying to say is that you got to be open to cultures.
Yeah.
And I think as a person,
Yeah.
it shows, like, be it you appreciate the food. That means you're kind of
Yeah.
open-minded and you're open to
Yeah.
you know, the world.
This is what we should be having in Goa as well, right? I mean, we should be having more Goan restaurants. And
Yeah.
everyone should be encouraged to try the Goan food rather than
I mean,
trying
stick
out
to your
and stick to your authenticity.
yes, yeah,
and
exactly.
Make it as authentic Goanly as possible. Even if it's spicy as hell, so be it. You
Correct.
taste it and
let them
you've
taste
experienced.
it. And I mean, like, even vegetarian, for example, there are dishes.
Yeah, there are.
In
there
the
are.
Saraswati Hindu
Yeah.
cuisine, and even our Catholics. I mean, at home always there would be some veg dishes. So but I think we could go on, and this is like just the part one of our episode. I think we need to do part two because I want to really discuss some more stuff.
Yeah,
And
biggest joke that I was telling you before the episode. The two most things that we kept on saying, guys, and you'll hear us of usually saying it, is the two most common questions in all our episodes is, are you going? Which is obviously everyone's
Yeah,
being
yeah,
asked.
yeah.
And the second one is, we're running out of time, guys.
yeah, which we are definitely running out of time. But
Yeah.
I think we'll end
So,
our episode. And
very quickly from my end, if I could take the
Yeah.
minute to say thank you to all our guests who joined us on season 2.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you taking the time out to join us and have these interesting conversations where it was great learning, and we were able to have topics brought up which resonates more with the Goan mind. So thank you to each and every one of you who supported us in this journey. I think the two of us need to thank our editor, Stefan. For
Stefan LC,
thank
who's
you.
done
Yeah.
our editing of our videos.
Thank you.
and
She's been our support from day one.
Day
in this
one,
journey.
yes,
So
yeah.
Thank you so much.
I know you're watching.
Don't edit this out.
And most of all, I think the biggest thanks is to our audience.
Yes.
And our followers. I would say thank you so much for the support.
Yes.
And thanks for spreading the word around.
Yes.
And we've got load of ideas, right?
Yeah.
We got
So we're wrapping up with this episode. We're wrapping up season 2. We've got a really exciting season 3 in our heads. We've got different ideas that we've got in mind. A little change from what we've been doing in season 2.
Yeah.
We think we need to talk more about how we can change Goa and be the positive, the positive light, and how we can make things better for Goa.
Yes.
We'll get guests on as well. We'll talk.
I mean,
about,
that will always be there.
Yeah,
but we're trying something
we're
different, which we
trying-
cannot reveal
Yeah.
right now.
Shh, secret.
Yeah, classified information. But yeah, that's I think also another message which I'd like to give out to all our Goinkars is that please, wherever y'all go, wherever y'all move, keep the culture traditions going and spread the word that Goans exist with the way things are going in Goa. I'm not sure how long. I mean, I just pray that our identity is intact in a way. So, uh, our future children and people all moving around and my imaginary kids. Yeah, Anta
You
and
got me.
boste ho.
You got me so excited because he had future children in the plan.
Imaginary kids. But yeah,
Yeah, we keep
that's what I'm trying to say. Like,
Yeah.
with people moving to different, and now with Goan diasporas have,
Yeah.
growing, and it's happening. We're becoming like the Venezuelans, Lebanese,
Yeah.
I would say. Is, all we can do is keep it going and spreading the word.
Yeah.
And that's what we are trying to achieve with our show.
Sure.
So spread the Mog, Mogasu.
More
Take care.
so, yeah.
Cheers.
Thank you
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Take it. Bye.